Year 3185. Deep in the uncharted sector of the galaxy, a cluster of asteroids drifted silently. Stars glimmered in the distance, but in this remote region, few dared to venture. That is, until a fleet of alien ships appeared, gliding smoothly through the void. The Vornak Collective had received reports of an unusual signal, weak, erratic, and seemingly ancient. The fleet's commanders assumed they were investigating nothing more than space debris, perhaps a remnant of a long-dead species. Captain Zyrol, in command of the observation cruiser, Krellis, scanned the dark expanse ahead. Sensors detect a large object, she reported, her voice calm but tinged with curiosity. It appears massive, but dormant, most likely a wreck. Her crew, young aliens eager for adventure, buzzed with excitement. Maybe it's a relic from the first human empire, one joked, showing a flickering hologram of the supposed ancient humans. Imagine a ship that's been drifting for centuries. Rusty, broken, useless. The others laughed. Humans extinct for over 300 years had become nothing more than stories, myths told to frighten young cadets. Yet here they were, supposedly alive in legend, floating as a forgotten relic among the stars. The fleet moved cautiously toward the object. The massive silhouette loomed against the stars, a warship unlike anything they had ever seen. Its hull was scarred, battered by time and debris. To the aliens, it looked dead, empty, a grave for a long-lost civilization. "Scrap metal," muttered Lieutenant Vol, pointing at the hull. Nothing but a giant coffin for dead humans. Sensors scanned, but the energy readings were faint, inconsistent. A whisper of power, too weak to register clearly on their instruments. Still, the ship's size alone was remarkable, larger than any vessel currently in the Vornak fleet. "Look at the corridors," said young alien Threx, zooming in with a tactical scanner. "Dark, silent, nothing moves. It must be empty." He laughed. Humans are extinct. Their ships are nothing now. But as their cameras peered into the depths, a faint flicker of light pulsed from within the vessel. The lights were brief, almost imperceptible, like distant stars blinking behind. A dust storm. No alarms, no communication, no response. Just a quiet, subtle glow, almost like the ship was breathing. "Did anyone else see that?" muttered Threx, a shiver running down his spine. Captain Zyril frowned. "Probably a reflection or a minor. Energy fluctuation. Sensors confirm no life signs. Scanning, but do not overreact." The fleet edged closer. The asteroid field made navigation tricky, with jagged rocks floating unpredictably. Every move had to be precise. The alien ships adjusted course carefully, avoiding collisions, all the while keeping the mysterious warship in view. Suddenly, a faint hum echoed through the scanners. It was almost melodic, subtle, like the vibrations of an ancient instrument. Its good crew paused, listening. "It's faint," whispered Vol. "Could be the reactor. Still operational? That's impossible." The hum grew slightly louder, synchronized with the flickering lights within the vessel. The aliens exchanged uneasy glances. None could explain the anomaly. They had expected a lifeless relic, a ghost ship. Instead, there was something alive inside, or something pretending to be alive. Threx leaned closer to his console. "It's reacting. It's the lights. Pulsing like a heartbeat. Sensors can't measure it. It's almost like the ship knows we are here."
"Captain."
Zyrel tightened her grip on the controls.
"Do not board.
Do not provoke it. Observe only." But even as she spoke, a subtle feeling crept over the crew: unease, curiosity, fear. The warship was enormous, silent, and yet not entirely dead. It carried an aura of authority, of power that had survived centuries. The young aliens continued to laugh, but their voices lacked conviction. Shadows of doubt had entered their minds. "What if it's more than a relic?" one asked quietly. The hum continued, almost as if the ship itself was aware of. The alien presence, aware of every move. The lights flickered in patterns, too random for the aliens to decode, yet almost deliberate. It was alive in some way that defied their understanding. Vol scanned again, trying to locate a source. No crew, no weapons, nothing functional visible. Yet the ship, it feels dangerous. The asteroid field creaked under gravitational forces, but the fleet remained steady. Every alien ship was tense, sensors running full power. The air, or whatever they breathed, felt heavier. Suspense built with every moment as they realized the warship might not be abandoned at all. A sudden reflection caught Threx's eye. A glimmer of metal moved inside a dark corridor. A shadow, too fast to measure, disappeared almost instantly. Did anyone see that? Threx hissed. Captain Zero remained silent, her instincts screaming that this was no ordinary relic. The hum pulsed again, almost in rhythm with the flickering lights, as if the ship itself were breathing, waking. The Vornok collective fleet hovered in place, unsure whether to retreat or investigate further. And somewhere deep in the warship, engines stirred faintly. Old systems, long thought dead, began to flicker to life. The aliens had no idea what they had discovered. A forgotten human warship, silent for centuries, waiting. Waiting for the moment to awaken. The crew exchanged uneasy glances. Curiosity battled with fear. Laughter had died in their throats. They knew, somehow, that the centuries-old legends were only half the story. And in the silent void, lights pulsed again, a faint hum echoing into space. Something inside the relic stirred, something very much alive. The fleet held its breath. The alien fleet hovered near the massive warship, scanning it cautiously. Every moment, the faint hum and flickering lights inside the vessel seemed to grow stronger, as if the ship itself was aware of their presence. Captain Zyril frowned at her console. All readings indicate the ship is ancient, but somehow active. There are minor energy spikes we cannot explain. Young Threx tapped on his holographic display. It's impossible. How can a ship this old still have power? We expected scrap, not life. The crew's laughter from before had vanished. Silence filled the observation deck as the warship gave off another pulse. The lights inside shifted in subtle patterns, almost as if communicating, though no one could understand how. Prepare drones, Captain Zyril ordered. We need to investigate the interior without risking lives. Mechanical drones launched quietly from the fleet, moving toward the vessel. They slipped through cracks in the hull, guided by sensors and cameras. As they entered the corridors, the drones transmitted images back to the fleet. Broken consoles, damaged walkways, and empty corridors stretched endlessly. Yet there were hints of something strange. Subtle movement, lights flickering in rhythm, and energy readings that fluctuated as if alive. Strange. It's almost like the ship is aware of us, muttered Vol, scanning the drone's feed. Suddenly, the drone's sensors picked up motion. A panel slid open for a brief moment, revealing machinery that seemed to adjust itself. The lights flickered faster. The hum became stronger, almost like a low vibration that resonated through the drone's circuits. Captain, it's responding, Threx whispered, eyes wide. It's not abandoned. The ship is reacting to our presence. Zyril's claws tightened around the console. Stay calm. Do not provoke it. Observe only. But even as she spoke, unease spread through. The crew, something inside the warship was stirring, and they had no control over it. The drones advanced further. One was nearly caught by a sudden surge of energy that passed through a corridor like a wave. The drone shuddered violently and lost feed for a moment before stabilizing. The crew gasped. This is possible, Wall muttered. It's protecting itself somehow. Autonomous systems should be offline for centuries, yet it's alive. From deep inside the ship, another pulse radiated outward, stronger than before. The lights inside the corridors blinked in sequence, as if counting, observing, learning. Every alien ship in the fleet felt the subtle vibrations in their sensors, a presence they could not define. Threx pointed at the display. Look. Drones are moving differently now. They're not just following programmed commands. They're being guided by the ship itself. Styril's frown deepened. This is beyond logic. A warship, old as history itself, acting with intelligence. autonomous but aware. The aliens hovered in tense silence. Every sensor, every reading, indicated the ship was more than a relic. It was alive in some way that defied understanding. The hum grew louder, synchronized with flickering lights, and then, suddenly, small turrets along the ship's exterior rotated toward the fleet. "Defensive systems activating," Vol whispered. "Yes," Zero said grimly. "Prepare shields and hold position. Do not attack unless necessary." The alien fleet tensed. The young aliens who had laughed before now stared at the vessel with wide eyes. They had assumed humans were extinct and their ships useless. Now, they realized they had underestimated something far beyond their imagination. Another drone entered a large chamber. Its camera feed revealed massive machinery. Energy conduits, glowing panels, and control consoles say. The alien fleet drifted tensely around the massive human warship. Every sensor pinged faint readings, and the hum from deep within the ship pulsed steadily, like a heartbeat the aliens could not ignore. Captain Zyral's claws tightened on the console. "Prepare for a test strike," she ordered. "We need to see if this relic can defend itself." Young aliens buzzed with excitement. Finally, Threx exclaimed, "We'll see if the humans left anything worth noticing." First, plasma cannons fired. Bright beams of energy streaked through the darkness, aimed at the seemingly abandoned hull. The aliens expected nothing more than sparks, shattered metal, or perhaps a scattering of debris. They were wrong. The beams struck the hull, and the ship responded. Hidden turrets slid from the vessel's sides, almost as if they had been asleep for centuries. They rotated with precision, not randomly, targeting the attacking ships with speed that surprised even veteran aliens. Some plasma bolts were deflected by energy shields that had flickered to life moments before the weapons hit. "Shields? How?" Vol muttered. His scanner showed energy fields stabilizing around the ship almost instantly. The shields absorbed the plasma impact without faltering. Threx leaned closer to his console. "It's alive. I swear. It's reacting on its own." "That's not possible." The alien fleet scattered, trying to avoid direct fire. Another salvo from the warships. Hidden weapons disabled a small strike squad. Sparks and debris floated in space where their ships had been. Panic rippled through the young aliens who had once laughed at the vessel. Now they whispered in fear, realizing their scrap was far from harmless. The warship pulsed again, lights flickering in rhythm with the hum. Sensors detected no human crew yet. Somehow, the ship seemed to move, adjust, and respond intelligently. It was as if it were alive, a single organism with centuries of knowledge embedded in its systems. Captain Zyril barked orders. "Hold formation. Maintain distance." But even the veteran aliens could not match the precision and speed of the SC. Ship's defenses. Every movement they made was anticipated and countered. Every attack parried. From deep inside the warship, corridors shimmered with faint light. The drones that had entered earlier detected movement, though no life signs were visible. Panels shifted, machinery whirred softly, and energy flowed through circuits long thought dead. The warship itself seemed to guide the drones, keeping them safe yet observing the intruders. One of the alien strike teams attempted to approach the vessel with boarding modules. Just as they neared a docking port, a burst of energy erupted from the hull. The modules were repelled with a force that made the aliens stagger back in surprise. No warning, no communication, just a controlled, precise defensive action. "This is not just a relic," muttered Vol, his voice barely audible. "It's intelligent. It knows what we're doing before we do." The fleet began to retreat, but the warship's hidden weapons continued to strike, disabling minor ships and forcing the others to scatter. The aliens' confidence crumbled. The legends of human extinction suddenly felt hollow, almost like a lie. A faint shadow appeared briefly on one of the drone's cameras. Something moved inside the ship, fast, silent, and deliberate. The aliens could not determine what it was. Perhaps a human crew, perhaps an advanced AI system. Either way, it was controlling the ship with intelligence that far exceeded anything they had anticipated. Captain Zero gritted her teeth. "Pull back," she ordered. "We have underestimated it. Record all readings, retreat for now, and report to the council." Even as they withdrew, the warship's hum continued, pulsing rhythmically. The aliens could feel it resonating through the hulls of their ships. It was not just a warning, it was a promise. Something ancient had awoken, and it was far more powerful than any of them had imagined. Threx's tentacles twitched nervously. "I thought humans were extinct," he whispered. "But this is something else. Something alive. Something unstoppable." The fleet regrouped at a safe distance, shaken and confused. The warship remained in place, enormous and silent once more, as if nothing had happened. But the hum persisted, faintly pulsing like the echo of a heartbeat. The aliens had learned a dangerous lesson. Humans had left behind more than wreckage. They had left behind power. Vol looked at the distant silhouette of the vessel. "Don't think it's just a warship," he said quietly. "It's a sentinel, a guardian. And whatever is inside, it's waiting." Captain Zyrel nodded, silent. The aliens had come to study a relic. Instead, they had awakened a force they could barely comprehend. The warship, ancient and mysterious, had shown its first taste of power. And somewhere inside, long forgotten, systems began to stir fully, preparing for the next moment, the moment humans would finally be seen. The stars in the void twinkled as the alien fleet drifted away, but the warship's hum continued. It pulsed, steady and powerful, as if counting down to the awakening. Something slept inside, something old, something human. And soon, the galaxy would see what they had underestimated for Centauri. The alien fleet regrouped in the darkness of the asteroid field. Shaken and uncertain, the massive human warship hovered silently among the rocks, its hull glowing faintly from systems long thought dead. Every sensor in the alien ships recorded something unusual. The warship had defended itself, yet no life signs were detected. The aliens whispered nervously, realizing they had underestimated what they called a relic. Then, a figure appeared on one of the warship's exterior observation windows. For a brief second, the aliens could see a humanoid silhouette, tall, armored, moving with precision. The crew froze. "Impossible," muttered Lieutenant Vol. "That's human alive." Captain Zyrel's claws tightened on the console. "Everyone, hold your positions. Observe. Do not fire. Wait and see." More figures appeared. Humans in sleek, armored exosuits moved along the ship's surface, adjusting equipment, checking systems, and maintaining the vessel. Their movements were precise, synchronized, almost instinctive. Each action seemed purposeful, intelligent, and confident. Threx, normally brash and loud, whispered in awe. "They're alive. They're inside. And they're controlling the ship, every part of it." The humans entered the main control room, visible through the ship's glowing windows. Consoles lit up, screens activated, and systems came online as if obeying a silent command. The hum from the ship's core pulsed steadily, like a heartbeat that matched the rhythm of human coordination. One human pressed a series of controls. Immediately, hidden turrets rotated to defend the ship once again. Sensors scanned the alien fleet not with fear, but with awareness and calm precision.
Ow.
The humans had arrived, and the aliens finally understood that this was no empty relic. A small group of alien scouts attempted to fire a warning shot. Instantly, a shield activated around the warship, deflecting the energy with ease. The humans inside did not panic. They adjusted the shield's parameters and observed the attackers. Each movement was deliberate, precise, and controlled. Vol's eyes widened. They're protecting the drones. They're not even hostile. Yet, Captain Zyrel's voice was tight with tension. "They are not just defending. They are testing us. They know our presence, our weapons, and they are deciding how to respond." Inside the warship, one human moved toward a viewing console. A holographic map of the asteroid field and alien positions flickered to life. Others monitored weapon systems and energy flow, maintaining a balance of power and defense. It was clear humans had survived centuries, preserved their technology. and now commanded it with skill the aliens could hardly imagine. Threx's tentacles twitched nervously. "I thought they were extinct," Legend said. "Humans were gone. But this is a full crew, fully alive, fully prepared." The warship pulsed again, lights flickering in rhythm with the hum. Sensors inside detected every alien ship's movement, predicting their actions with astonishing accuracy. The aliens realized that this was not merely defense. It was strategy, intelligence, and awareness, all controlled by humans. Suddenly, a human commander appeared on the main observation deck. Their presence radiated authority. The alien fleet felt it as if a silent command had been issued. Not a word was spoken, yet every sensor, every system, and every eye in the eye. Alien ships felt the weight of human power. Captain Zirl swallowed hard. "All units, fall back slightly. Observe. Do not provoke further." Val's voice trembled. "They're amazing. Everything we thought about humans? Wrong. Completely wrong." The human warship moved with silent grace through the asteroid field. It was not chasing, attacking, or retreating. It moved deliberately, maintaining position while projecting power. The aliens realized that this was no ordinary vessel. It was alive in a way they could not measure, controlled by beings they had believed extinct. The humans began interacting with the alien drones that had entered the vessel. Instead of destroying them, they carefully captured and repaired damaged drones, then released them back into space. It was an act of strategy, not mercy, a display of intelligence. The alien fleet floated in tense silence, still shocked from the humans' sudden appearance. The warship pulsed faintly, its hum like a quiet heartbeat echoing across space. The aliens had expected a relic, a lifeless monument from a vanished species. Instead, they faced fully alive humans, commanding a vessel more powerful than anything in their fleets. Captain Zirl's claws tightened on the console. "Prepare for retreat," she ordered. "Do not underestimate them again." But it was too late. The humans had already anticipated their movements. The warship's systems activated fully, shields expanding in a protective dome, sensors scanning every ship. Lights flickered across its hull as weapons systems lined up with precise calculation. "Wait," Threx shouted, eyes wide at the readings. "They're not just defending, they're organizing, coordinating." From inside the human warship, consoles lit up with holographic displays. Each human crew member worked quickly, moving with flawless timing. They directed automated drones to intercept alien scouts, redirecting energy to strengthen shields at weak points. The alien fleet's first attempts at attack were stopped before they could even aim. Then came the first strike. Small human fighter craft launched from the ship, darting through the asteroid field. Their engines glowed brightly, and their movements were precise and synchronized. They engaged the alien scouts with speed and skill the aliens could barely match. Plasma blasts and energy shields collided, but every human ship moved in perfect coordination, covering allies and striking with devastating accuracy. Val's claws shook as he watched. They're organized. Every move is predicted. Every attack countered. Threx nodded silently. It's not just technology, strategy, intelligence. They think faster than our systems, faster than we do. The human warship pulsed again, sending a wave of energy through space. Alien ships were knocked off balance, shields flickering, systems failing. The humans did not destroy recklessly. Instead, they targeted weak points, neutralizing threats efficiently. Every action displayed restraint, precision, and awareness. Captain Zirl gritted her teeth. "Pull back. Focus fire on the rear." But the humans had anticipated this too. Automated turrets rotated, shielding weaker ships, while counterattacks disabled multiple alien vessels. The alien fleet had numbers, but the humans had coordination and intelligence that made raw numbers meaningless. Inside the warship, one human moved swiftly to the control console, adjusting energy distribution. The shields intensified, engines powered up, and weapon systems lined up simultaneously. It was a dance of technology and skill executed flawlessly. The aliens could only watch in disbelief as their attacks were neutralized before they even reached their targets. Vol turned to Threx, panic in his eyes. They're unstoppable. How is this possible? Threx's tentacles twitched nervously. Humans are not what we expected. They're more than survivors. They're warriors, tacticians, protectors, and they care for each other. That's why they fight like this. The alien fleet began a desperate retreat, but the humans pursued with calculated restraint. They did not chase recklessly. They maintained formation, striking only when it was advantageous. Every maneuver displayed the humans' ability to protect each other and their ship while defeating enemies. Captain, we are being corralled, Vol admitted, voice trembling. They're hurting us, controlling the battlefield. Zero realized it was true. The humans were not just defending. They were leading the alien fleet, manipulating their movements, predicting their strategy. It was a level of foresight the aliens had never encountered. From deep within the warship, another pulse of energy emanated outward. It was not violent, but commanding, almost like a signal to all humans aboard. The pulse synchronized with smaller fighter drones, activating them in perfect coordination with the larger ship. The alien fleet could not escape without encountering countermeasures at every turn. Threx whispered in awe. They're teaching us how to move without touching. Us there, controlling everything. It's like the ship itself is alive. It's guided by humans. Vol's claws clutched his console. We underestimated humans. Centuries of history, lost technology, and yet they survive. They adapt. They conquer. Without recklessness. The aliens' retreat grew chaotic. Ships collided. Shields failed, and panic spread. The human warship pulsed one final time, sending a strong energy wave that disabled the alien fleet's forward weapons. Every strike from the humans was precise, measured, and devastating. The alien commanders realized the truth. They had faced many species, many weapons, and many strategies. But nothing prepared them for humans. Not extinct, not broken, but alive, skilled, united, and intelligent beyond expectation. Captain Zero finally ordered full retreat. Humans did not chase further. Instead, they maintained position, shielding their territory, their crew, and their vessel. The alien fleet limped away, battered, shocked, and humbled. Inside the warship, humans stood at their consoles, breathing steadily, moving with calm assurance. Their strategy was complete. The counterattack had succeeded not through sheer force, but through unity, intelligence, and courage. Threx looked at Vol, whispering, I understand now. They love their crew, their ship, their people. That's why they fight like this. It's why they survive. It's why they win. Vol nodded slowly, still staring at the massive vessel. Humans are unstoppable. The warship pulsed softly, its hum like a heartbeat fading to calm. But the aliens knew this was only the beginning. Humans had returned to the galaxy. And they had reminded everyone, even centuries later, why they were never to be underestimated. The stars glimmered around the asteroid field, silent witnesses to the humans' display of power, strategy, and unity. The alien fleet had fled, but the legend of the human warship, alive and guided by its crew, had just begun. And somewhere inside, systems long thought dead began to prepare for the next challenge, a new threat. A new test, and a galaxy unprepared for the humans' return. The alien fleet had retreated into the shadow of the asteroid field, damaged and shaken. They had faced the human warship, expecting an ancient relic, a powerless vessel left behind by a vanished species. Instead, they had met living, breathing humans commanding a vessel of unimaginable strength and intelligence. Inside the warship, the crew moved with quiet efficiency. Consoles glowed softly, systems hummed steadily, and smaller fighter drones patrolled the area. Every movement was deliberate, every action precise. The humans were not celebrating, nor were they exhausted. They were vigilant, aware, and ready for whatever might come next. Captain Zero and her fleet were watching from afar. The warship's resonated across space, a silent warning. The aliens realized this was no ordinary vessel. It had survived centuries, adapted to threats, and now projected power that none could ignore. Captain Threx whispered, eyes wide. They're unstoppable. Every move we make, they see. Every attack, neutralized. How is this possible? Vol shook his head. It's more than technology. It's coordination, intelligence, strategy, and something else. Something I don't understand. Inside the warship, a human commander moved to the main observation deck. They studied the distant alien fleet, analyzing every ship, every formation, every weak point. Their eyes were calm, yet sharp, like a predator calculating the next move. The warship pulsed again, sending a subtle wave of energy that rippled through the surrounding space. Alien sensors detected the force but could not identify its source or purpose. It was a presence, a reminder that humans were not just survivors. They were masters of their vessel and of the battlefield. Small fighter craft launched from the ship once more. This time, they did not attack recklessly. They moved to secure the area, forming defensive formations that covered the warship from every angle. The alien fleet's sensors could barely track them. Every movement was precise, every maneuver calculated. Threx whispered in awe, "It's like they can see everything, everywhere. They're controlling the battlefield, without even leaving the ship." Ball nodded. It's unity. Coordination. That's why humans survive, why they fight, why they win. They protect each other. That's their strength. The alien fleet attempted to regroup and mount a counterattack, but the humans anticipated it. Automated. Drones intercepted the first wave, disabling weapons and systems without causing unnecessary destruction. Then, the human warship's hidden turrets rotated in perfect synchronization, targeting threats with speed and precision the aliens could not match. Captain Zero realized the truth. The humans were not just defending themselves, they were asserting control over the battlefield. Every system, every crew member, every drone worked in perfect harmony. This was not luck or chance. It was human skill, intelligence, and unity expressed through technology that had survived centuries. Pull back, Zyril ordered. Her voice was tight with tension. We cannot fight them, not like this. The humans did not pursue.